Welcome to Vox Flash, I'm Riddles, and in this video I'll be reviewing the Legions Astartes Saturnine Siege Dreadnought in the Chiron Configuration. The Saturnine Dreadnought is the largest of the three Heresy-era plastic Dreadnought kits, and it is a powerful war engine building on the design found in the Saturnine Terminator squad kit. There are two variants of the Saturnine Dreadnought, with each kit consisting of 3 sprues. There's 2 sprues that make up the Dreadnought itself, a weapon sprue, and a 100mm base. The Chiron configuration is armed with both a Heavy Plasma Bombard and Disintegrator Cannon, as well as a choice between chest-mounted concussive resonators or photonic incinerators. Speaking of choice, there are also 4 head designs, 4 different sarcophagus options, including one loyalist themed and one traitor themed, an optional halo, 2 sets of leg trims, and 3 different sets of armour panels. When I first opened the instructions for this kit, I admit I was a bit daunted. There are a lot of components, and even something as simple as the feet have multiple pieces just to build the toes. It feels over-engineered to a degree, and the Heavy Plasma Bombard gives the Arachni a close run for its money for the most pointless component in Warhammer history with this tiny little valve, which the instructions make pretty difficult to determine where it goes. Staying on the theme of the Bombard, I was slightly taken aback when I saw you could build it with the vents open or closed. I made the rookie mistake of building them open and cost myself a load of time gluing them on. Having snapped one of them off, assembling the arm, and another during filming, I'm thankful this wasn't an option in the Terminator squad kit. My personal advice is that unless this is going on display in a cabinet, glue them closed. Another example of this over-engineering are these pipes that go from your choice of armour panel along the shoulders, which on completion are entirely covered by the enormous shoulder pads. Of course, some hobbyists will choose to leave those off, and if they do, there's loads of detail underneath, but still, I can't help but feel a different design choice could have been made. Speaking of the shoulder pads, I actually made an error when building them and glued 3 armour panels on the wrong side of the spine. This somewhat serves me right for not reading the instructions properly, and after a little surgery I'd managed to get them the right way round. The shoulder pads actually have an example of the over-engineering I've mentioned as well, where for some reason they have these slots on either side that show some of the inner workings. By all means break up the panel with some cool details or something, but I'm not sure what the purpose of these components are, other than being small and probably quite difficult to get a brush in. Other than building the model, the next thing to consider is posing. The kit makes good use of locator pins to slot the legs in at the hips, and the designers have left recesses in many components so that you can magnetize parts of the model. There's a lot of freedom in the arms and the waist to create unique poses, which is somewhat offset by how stiff the legs are in their natural shoulder width part stance. You can pose the toes or ignore or cut off the locator pins, but it is quite difficult to hold the model together whilst trying to get an all-over natural pose for it, so it did become a bit of a juggling act. Positively though, I actually really like the design of the Dreadnought. The overlapping panels and the knightly helmet look great, and the shoulder pads are reshaped over the versions seen on the Terminators and the Praetor, and in my opinion that makes them look better. Whilst I don't currently have one of the other Dreadnoughts to compare to, it's imposing in size next to the regular Mark II Marine or Saturnine Terminator. It literally dominates the models around it. All in all, I grew to really like this model despite its slightly puzzling engineering and the daunting amount of components, but it is a cool addition to the range in the Saturnine contingent. What did you think of the Saturnine Dreadnought? Let us know in the comments and subscribe to Vox Flash for more Horus Heresy news and reviews coming soon.